Africa's aviation sector is on the takeoff. It's been a slow and bumpy takeoff, though, 16 years since African countries signed the Yamoussoukro Declaration, in which they committed themselves to liberalizing the continent's airspace. Lack of conducive policies has rendered flying in Africa more expensive compared to the rest of the world. For instance, jet fuel is 20% more expensive in Africa compared to other continents, thanks to tax.
In much of the rest of the world, international aviation fuel is not taxed, in line with ICAO principles on this issue. But in Africa, I'm afraid the governments here have seen aviation as an easy target for imposing high taxes on fuel.
As a result, airfares within the continent are comparatively higher than those of flights out of Africa. For instance, the cheapest air ticket on an African airline from Nairobi to Johannesburg in South Africa costs at least 31,000 shillings. That compared with 25,000 shillings, which is the cheapest air ticket from Nairobi to Dubai on a Middle Eastern carrier. As a result, almost 80% of flights into Africa are serviced by airlines from other continents.
The first step should be full implementation of the Yamoussoukro decision. Once implemented, African airlines would be free to operate wherever they wanted to, wherever they saw commercial opportunities.
But Kenya's investment into additional airport handling capacity is slowly turning Nairobi into a magnet for major global carriers such as Asia's largest airline, China Southern.
We are the #1 in Asia and #5 in the world. So we have more than 600 aircraft in our fleet, and we carry more than 100 million people last year.
China Southern's planned direct flights from Guangzhou to Nairobi in August is expected to come as a boon to Kenya Airways, which is currently making inroads into the Far East.
Competition, first of all, is good, but co-opetition is even better. If you look at China Southern, it gives us the opportunity to open up into this region, which means that we can actually sell some of our cross-Africa routes into their flights to actually allow for a mid-morning departure out of Nairobi.
According to IATA, Africa's aviation sector is expected to grow by 5% over the next 20 years. Air transport currently supports nearly 7 million jobs and brings in close to 8 trillion shillings in direct and indirect incomes to Africa. Balagenga, the big question.